Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Let's get our mics together. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Hope you guys can hear me okay. So yes, indeed. Come with another special episode of Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast episode. I'm your host, Duane Cofield. It is September 19th, man. We are one day away from fall. Can you guys believe that? One day away from fall, man. Getting there, moving along, man. I know this probably caught my live people off guard because we weren't necessarily going to go live today, but we had a change of plan in terms of the schedule. So we decided to hit you guys with a little something today. Um, make sure that everybody stays on point. We always got to think about things, unexpected things that we didn't plan on. So yeah, man. So this episode is really important because it 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 allows me to fulfill a dream of mine, which is to teach. Let me open up some of these windows up in here. It's pretty warm. And I don't care if the elements here, it's just all good. We need the elements, right? But this episode, man, we're talking about upgrades. And we're talking about how to stay upgraded. And what that means is like when a computer runs, right? Because we're one of our best computers, but when a computer runs and it doesn't get updates, it's get kind of funky, right? Like our phones, they stop functioning in the manner that we purchased them, thinking that we were going to get this type of result. Same thing holds true with us, man. If we don't get our updates, meaning that we don't get information, and there's a couple ways that we can get the bad updates as well, right? If we don't get the right information, then we can easily have an unfunctioning or inefficient computer running, which is our brain, our product, etc. So this is episode number 6 of season 5. The importance of updates, right? So I'll show you guys some tools that I've used that I consistently use because I use a I use a few tools that on a regular basis that keep me where I need to be, right? Because everybody else has their own thing, and I'm over here sweating. Hold on 1 second, man. Just got to get me a little towel or something. I'll use one of these. It's pretty hot in here because you turn off the fans and stuff. So yeah, but this episode we're talking about specifically things that are going to help us advance, right? Because I'm all about self improvement. I'm an instructor. I teach at a university, so I'm constantly in teaching mode all the time. I'm always teaching, and the thing about it is, it's not necessarily like I heard today. I listened to a podcast. There's a podcast that I listened to by a gentleman named Tim Ferriss, and he is the podcast that I listened to today was fantastic. I mean, absolutely killer, amazing, right? But one thing it was talking about was a reverse bucket list. Some of the other things that are kind of mind stretching, right? Because what people are finding is that achieving a lot of the things that we strive for are almost anticlimactic. Like they don't give us what we think we're getting in terms of satisfaction. So it was a really deep episode, but it was important. And it also talked about our importance, right? And us having this idols, right? He talked about idols. And they were talking about the 4 idols. I think it's power, pleasure, money, and there's one other one as well, fame, and how we're usually addicted to one of those, right? And I started thinking about it. I was like, man, and basically when he asked the guy, he said, what could you do without? Like, which one of them could you leave without? And it at the end of the day, the host was like, it was everything but pleasure. Really enjoy pleasure. And when we break it down like that, like what do we really need? Like what do we want? We think that these things are going to give us that, right? We think if we get the house, we get the car, we get the Benz, we get the degree, we get all these things that is going to ultimately lead to happiness. And it was like, an enlightening moment to find out that that's not always the case, right? There's only a certain amount of money that you can make where you're going to be happy. Outside of that, you need to be giving it away. And one of the three things he talked about was just like how we need to focus on experiences. We need to focus on experiences with people, and we need to give our money away. So find ways to donate, right? That's really what he was saying was the true way to get happy, right? So these things are, difficult to grasp. You really have to put your ego aside to really, really try to grasp these concepts because they're difficult. They're not easy to understand, especially if we're from this generation that thrives for so much attention, right? It becomes almost to the point to where you're like, man, do I even want? Is that what I really want? You know, you God gives you what you need, not what you want. And what that was another thing he said. He said the way to happiness is to have an equation to where your haves are divided by your wants, right? And that doesn't need to be a deficit, right? So what you have needs to, and the way you make that equation right is that you remove the things that you want, right? And start to focus more on the things that you have because those are blessings too. So it was heavy today, man. I was I was on my walk and I was like, let me, God puts these things in your path for everything, conversations, experiences, you name it. These things are purposely put in your path and we need to pay attention to them, right? And that was the one thing I really got out of that was like, okay, this podcast episode, it was like 2 hours long. I needed to do, I think I was trying to get like 6,000 steps. And I was like, man, and turned it and it was life changing. And it usually is, right? Because these things, just like whenever somebody picks this up, I don't know when, I don't know who, I don't know how many, it doesn't even matter. It really doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And they were talking about like legacies and Alexander the Great and all these major legacies and how nobody remembers them. And I was like, damn, nobody remembers. They said name Alex the Great's full name. Nobody even can. And that's crazy. We sit up there and we break our necks and we bust our tails and we do all these things that people are going to forget. And what they were saying was, not to not do these great things, but live in the moment, right? Stay in the moment because, they were talking about this cat who wrote this book called Mindfulness. And he was talking about just washing the dishes and being in the moment with that. Right. And I mean, I got so many messages today. It's just so hard to absorb. Right. And usually when you get these type of messages, you get the distractions as well. Some lady came to my door, some random out of the blue, nowhere, weirdo type stuff. And I was like, and it was just designed to throw me off. And it came right before I was about to do this podcast. And that's the case with every time this happens. Because God knows at the end of the day, I may have started this for notoriety to try to get attention and make myself more important. But anytime you start with something like that, ultimately the what it morphs into is a practicing moment for me to speak. No, it isn't. And it also gives me an opportunity to spread a message or teaching. And I use myself as a conduit or an example. I say, okay, well, this is what I'm doing to actually get ahead in life, right? These are the tools that I'm actually using to get ahead in life. And you're more than willing to watch me. Now, what I'm careful on now is saying that you need to do this, you need to do that, you don't need to do anything. You need to do what makes you happy. So I'm pulling back from just I just here's the tools, right? Here's the tools that I use. I use a few tools and they have done wonders for me, right? In terms of learning, in terms of opportunities, in terms of getting anything. What's going on, Craig from Toronto? Appreciate you tapping in. Um, it gives me the things that really, really complete my life. Like I get a lot of joy out of Khan Academy. I mean, it's it's hard to really explain the joy that I get out of I mean, it's almost like taking your elementary school example all over again. You know what I mean? And getting a teacher that's way better than the one that you had. Right? You think about some of the things I'm learning right now. I'm going through statistics and probability. Like I'm still gonna get my PhD. I don't know when. And this is the thing that I learned today too about reverse bucket list. The main thing with wanting something is not that you don't want it, but not becoming attached to the point to where if you don't get it, you're miserable and you're missing out on the current situations of life in your face. That's what you don't want to happen, right? So you still want to go. I'm still gonna get the PhD. And if I don't get it, so what? It doesn't matter. I still got research experience. I still tasted what that drink of research. I'm in 3 projects right now. Shout out to Dr. Beer. Salute you. You are a godsend. I mean, I asked the universe and her for an opportunity to do research, and she has me on so many projects in the middle, in the mix. I mean, God bless her soul. I promise you that. There's people like that are extensions of God's will for you. You know what I'm saying? So what she's doing is fantastic and amazing for me, and I really appreciate it. But I'm getting that taste, right? A lot of times, right? There's a family member who robbed me from experience, from being a certain, like, you know what I mean? I don't really get a chance to be an uncle. You know what I mean? But I get it through my wife's nephew, or through another family member that my wife may have. So I still get the opportunity. I may not get it from them. I may not get it directly, but I still get it, right? So I may not get the notoriety of calling myself Dr. Cofield and feeling important and shit, but I can still do the work. Like, which one is more important? Is it the goal or the journey? Is it the work? So I'm focusing on, how can I be in the moment and get work done? What kind of work does God need me to do? That's the key. Where's the work at? And what do I need to learn to become more of an asset to whoever it is I'm serving? What do I need to become? Right? What type of skill set do I need? There's a movie out right now called A Million Miles from Here. It's about gentleman named Jose Hernandez, who's a flight engineer for NASA. And the movie's amazing. It's set up as an inspirational piece, similar to October Sky, if you've ever watched October Sky. But it's set up similar to that, where it talks about setting goals and strategically going about accomplishing them and learning what you need to learn in order to thrive in that space. He had to learn how to swim. He had to learn how to run marathons. He had to learn how to speak Russian. All these different things he had to learn in order to fulfill his dream. And I can't stress enough. I've heard this from so many people. The goal is anticlimactic. It really is. It's not. That's not it. It's the journey. Is what you become in that process. That's really what it is. What do you become in that process? What do you turn into? I've learned how to not argue with people. That's a waste of time. Took me a while to figure that part out, but it's still one of those things that I had to pick up over and over again. But I'm learning how not to argue with people, not try to prove myself right, because that's ego driven. So I don't need to prove myself right. What I need to do is focus on being the best person I could be in that moment, right? And if that's the case, um, if hold on once, if that's the case, I need to be in a moment, then that's what I'm focusing on right then and there. I can't be, oh man, I need to get down here, because what happens is you get too far gone in terms of um what's expected of you, what's coming, and you missed it. Your kids, you miss all that stuff. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted, so I apologize about that. That's kind of why you guys heard the little dip or whatever. But no, I'm in the moment now. What can I teach? Because that's what I feel like my gift is. So what can I teach? Just told you one of my two main tools is Khan Academy, because of the satisfaction it gives me of accomplishments. A sense of accomplishment has tools, it has achievements, it has goals you can set, it has everything you could think of in terms of learning. Why don't people want to learn? That's the killer question right there, is why don't we want to become better? Because it requires work. And a lot of times things position themselves as if they're going to be more beneficial or have a better feeling, or you're going to be happier if you just chill. If you don't make that move, if you don't make that progress, if you don't take that step, you feel like you're going to be in a better position. That's not always true. What are you practicing on a day-to-day basis? I'm practicing mind work, right? I write in my journal, albeit it's not academic writing, but it is writing. It's something therapeutic that I do. I set my intentions for the day, right? And then I try to proceed throughout that day and accomplish those things, right? Stick to the script. Then I go at late at night, I'm at Khan Academy. I'm on that. going through a progression. I'll show you guys my progression so you guys can see, right, what I do and how it actually works. One of the best things that I think has been invented in terms of being able to control your destiny, right? You have the ability to control that now. So let's look at good old Khan Academy. So let's see. Let me sign in. And what the beauty about Khan Academy, yeah, it already has me sign in. So you can see that has my achievements right there, my dashboards. But look at all the subjects you can focus on, right? Here's your courses. And look at this. So if I mean, and the thing about it is a lot of times we think we're doing this, we think we're learning for ourselves. We think, oh man, I'm learning, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Nah, man, you learn it for other people. So my kids are gonna be doing all this stuff. And if you missed out on all this stuff like I did, you can start all over again. You can start in the first grade, right? Yeah, get ready courses. Get ready for the sixth grade. Get ready for the third grade. These are things that I have my kids doing. Macroeconomics. You didn't take economics, computer programming, AP science. If you want to know what your kids are doing, these are all things related to that. Grammar. I don't spell that good. I don't write that well, even though I'll show you guys Chat GPT in a second as well, but I don't write that good. Let me get into grammar. Let me start there. And then it has language and arts. So second grade reading vocabulary. And this ain't a humbling thing. Some homies need to start here. Like, like this is basic reading stuff, reading art and language. Then you have grammar, right? So let's go back to grammar in terms of courses. And this is important because I'll probably do this again because I missed all this. Parts of a speech, pronoun, conjunction. Man, what? I didn't get any of this. So I'll probably do this just because it's going to make me better. It's going to make me better when I take the GMAT. It's going to make me better at reading. It's going to be me better at writing. So when I'm writing emails, I don't sound ignorant. These are all things that you can control. That's the beauty in this, right? The updates are in your control. You have total control over your updates. You can either make space, and this is the thing, most of the people don't want to make space for their updates. Why? Because I don't want to get rid of that app, or I don't want to get rid of that thing. I don't want to get rid of that homeboy or homegirl in order to make this work. Oh man, we go do da, 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 da. Is that for you or them? And that's what you need to ask yourself. This, this is beautiful. So welcome to grammar. Let's get started. Parts of a noun, right? And it goes through the process. All right. So I'll start identifying nouns. This is just second grade stuff, right? And then you go, let me click out of this. You get let's go, and that's it, right? So let's see. Money, lawn, check. And it gives you that noise. So these are things that have been proven that spark certain I want to call them endorphins, but achievement, noise, showing that you're leveling up. These things all matter. And this doesn't take long. You can put this on your phone. And the beautiful part about it is if you do it on your phone and you do it on your desktop, it keeps picking up wherever you left off. So if you're like, okay, I was working on this at the house. And you thinking it may not be relevant to you. Yeah, this may not be relevant to you, but you're going in business, right? Okay, so business. Let's see. Any courses in here related to business. Okay, we got AP, humanities, arts, humanities, economics, and then you can go into all the economics, right? So there may be different things in here that are more related, right? You got math. You could probably here we go, LSAT. So MCAT, SATs, right? So it depends on what you're interested in. You're like, man, you know what? I'm tired of selling D. I'm going to law school. Okay. Here's the LSAT prep test, right? The official. And you get started, right? When you take an exam, I'm taking it on the 30th. Let's get cracking, right? And then, okay, practice dates. Start practicing. And that's it. You're on your way to being an attorney. Just by this. This is Elsa. This is the law test that you need to become an attorney. Assumptions, social passages, law passages. I'll probably do this just because I feel like it. right? Just because I take the diagnostic test to get focused on where you start and most improve. So starts off to see where you're at. Let me see where you currently are. Take full less, take express. It's 74 minutes. You want to take the full one, like analytical reasoning. They're asking you stuff. And this is just to kind of see where you are. And this is humbling at times, right? You could see here which one of the following could be an accurate list of six antiques in the order in which they were auctioned from da 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 da, right? So it tells you from June 1st to June 6th, antiques auction are the harmonica, lamp, mirror, sundial, da 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 da. Sundial is not auctioned on June 1st. And it gives you these kind of, this is just logic and reasoning, right? But it helps us understand things, right? So LSAT, what do you want to become? It is, there's so many resources now. That's the thing, right? And a lot of times what we're finding out, and research has proven this, is that too many choices lead to lack of satisfaction. So sometimes when there's too many options, that we always act helpless. Like, when we were younger, we didn't have internet or anything. Right now we got all these options, but it seems like we're less happy. So we have the ability to control our destiny. I don't know it. I wasn't educated. I wasn't da 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 da. Well, that's not an excuse anymore. You can get on just by going to Khan Academy. It does not take that much. So we can exit that. All right, we'll exit that and we'll go back to courses. What else can we learn? Right. So this is algebra. This is all these tests. Now you have personal finance, biodiversity, philosophy. These are partner courses. Economics. Let's see everything related to econ. Macro, micro, finance and capital. So this is finance, right? So this tells us about taxes. We can learn about taxes, interest rates, and we don't know what inflation is. So like, this is stuff that as I'm teaching, I'm learning, right? Because I'm in statistics right now. So I'm gonna try to finish that, and then I'm gonna float to the thing that I want to float to. If I want to learn more about inflation, I can do that in my spare time and be more informed, right? So that if my kids ask questions or if someone asks questions, I'm informed about how the process works. So this is inflation overview. And the beautiful part about these is Conwell gives you a little video on it, right? And talks about it. So I'll just press play.
Let's say I'm an economist and I'm curious about whether, in general, things are getting more expensive or not, and if they are getting expensive, by how much. So the way I'd approach that is I would think of, well, what are just a bunch of goods and services that the
So
of
you can
products, a bunch of
so
service
you can kind of
year have gotten so you as and in general, when people are
so the thing that got me leaning towards education was I didn't understand the news. That was really it. I didn't understand what they were saying in the news. I didn't understand a lot of these terms they were using. Right. I knew I was I could figure things out. I knew I had instinctiveness, if that's a word. But I didn't know what I needed to know, right? And I didn't understand a lot of things that they were saying. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I need to do something because this ain't gonna work. Or this isn't gonna work. Speaking of grammar, right? So right now I did trigonometry. I haven't done it here yet, but I'm going to. I did algebra basics. I'm gonna go to algebra 2. Statistics and probability, I'm about 28% done with that. Then I may move to calculus or something else more related to taking that GMAT. So most of the things you'll see that I'm doing are related to I'm taking the GMAT because I need to get a better score and have my research portfolio together, and then I can move on. So these are all the math courses. You have basic, uh, college admissions. Excuse me. I even have one on growth mindset. So growth mindset, introduction for teachers. So you can introduce this and teach people growth mindset, supercharger goals, elementary school, middle school activities. So this helps teachers too. It can help you and your kids, right? How to grow my brain, exercising my brain, activities for learning our brain. These are things that we can do. The growth mindset. What is the growth mindset? And they have write ups. So they give you a scenario. Instead of giving up, they ask for help. Da, 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 they go to tutoring. So this is something that I'm going to show my kids when they get home, just like that. And that's the way God works. It's like, man, you think you going to show somebody something, but you really end up teaching yourself something. But your intentions were to show somebody else, right? But God rewards you by blessing you with the lesson that you needed in general, right? The same lessons that you guys need, I need, which is why I'm really going through here learning everything that they have for me. So now they have AI as well, middle school physics, high school biology, history, reading language arts again, grammar is important, life skills. Man, you got everything you need. Financial literacy. Only thing they really don't have on here is a lot of business classes. But business is subjective. You can learn that stuff. These are all the hard stuff that you'll need to actually get in the course. They don't have language in here either, I don't think. In terms of um like learning how to do a language. Now they have TikTok. Now I've learned a lot on TikTok. Now the part that people miss is they're usually on here looking for entertainment, right? And God gave us TikTok, but TikTok is a great resource to learn. I have TikTok. I have um, workouts. I'll show you better than I can tell you. So I have workouts that are categorized, right? So chess, running, whatever. I have it categorized. So I go to TikTok, but I'm like, look at, I make lists. You feel what I'm saying? So I'll show you. So I have a list based on whatever it is I'm interested in at that time, right? So I have collections. So I have a collection for speed work, tight end work for my son. I got one that says hella funny. And then I have workout ideas, right? So these are my workout ideas. And you can see all these different ones that you can stash on here, right? So different things is boxing workouts. I did this one yesterday. So how people are using things. I was talking to my students the other day and I said, "What is a knife?" They were like, "Oh, it's a weapon." I said, "Isn't?" Well, I said, it can be a tool too. I said, "That's exactly the way we should embrace technology. Is it a weapon or is it a tool? It can be both, right?" So social media can be a weapon formed against you. You're using it the wrong way. It's a social tool, but social tools can be always exploited for the wrong things and the wrong reasons anyways. But it's a tool for us to share information and documents. That's what I see it as, right? So that's what I use it. I use it for inspiration. I follow the right people. Therefore, my timeline is not filled with drama and gossip because the algorithms don't have a personal opinion about it one way or another. They're going to follow whatever it is you follow and you look at. So I choose to look at things that inspire me, and I keep giving me more of it. And that's the thing, you got to look in a certain direction in order to see things. We got to be optimistic. We have to be, looking at the right things because we are blessed. But oftentimes we're looking at what we're coming up short on, right? We focus on our weaknesses and not our strengths. So Khan Academy, back to that, right? Upgrade yourself with Khan Academy. It is one of the best things invented. I promise you that. Next to YouTube, which leads me to my next suggestion: YouTube. YouTube it. YouTube University. It doesn't get better than that. You get a visual. If you're struggling with statistics, I learned how to do a lot of research methods and stuff on YouTube by rewinding it, right? By pausing it, by spending time with it on YouTube. This is the thing. So, how do we use YouTube? We can use it in different ways. The beautiful part about it is they have how to's. They have different ways you can explain it, and I'll show you better than I can tell you. So, I have a YouTube and I have it categorized for my classes, and it's based on what I think. Hold on. Sorry about that. So, let me show you. Those who are watching, I mean, who are listening, you guys may not see it, but let me show you kind of how I have that categorized. And you can make lists in there as well. So why are we wasting our time doing other stuff, right? So let me show you better than I can tell you. So if you look over to the left hand side, I have show more, then I have these lists, and they're all based on restaurant stuff, Kingston's basketball, Chat GPT, my classes, perfume and cologne ads. It just really depends. So if I'm going restaurant stuff, see, I got one behind the scenes tour because I'm following this chicken restaurant. They're doing some amazing stuff. I'll be adding more to that. Chat GPT. This is a Kahoot tutorial. And then I have in my classes, I have those categorized too. The one I probably had the most in was this class. But it just shows you that you can find out whatever you want. This is the search bar is similar to that of Google, where you have the ability to have long tail or whatever it is. You know, how to pass bar exam without law school. Look at that. How to pass the bar exam in Florida. How to pass the bar exam in California. As soon as I put the C there, it should come out. Look, what do you want? there's and you look at this is an hour video. This is you looking based on popularity, right? This has 2,000 views. This has 3,000 views. That has 16,000 views. That is 7. This has 3.5, and you can base it on that, or what I wish I knew before taking the bar exam. I mean, this is this is the beauty in it. Like the information was not this abundant in the past. It wasn't everywhere. I promise you that. So now we can figure out. Now the onus is on us to ask, what is the question that we need to know? What do we need to know? How to ask the question? But whatever it is at the tip of your fingertips. What do you want to learn? What are you willing to commit to? That's the part about learning is it takes commitment. It takes grind when nobody's watching. There's no applause. There's no nothing. you just go and learn. And it's reflective in the way you talk and in how you deal with people. But ultimately, this is a solo thing that only you are experiencing, but people will benefit, other people will benefit. So how much time you spending on YouTube and what are you watching? Because that has an impact. It has a direct impact and effect on your success. What are you watching? Who are you watching? Are we watching stories that inspire you to make you keep going? To understand that being broke is part of the process, that you're going to go through a dip before you rise to the top. Those are the stories that you need to watch and be paying attention to. That's where we get our inspiration from. You dig? So you can learn whatever. Let's see, how to start let's say, for instance, you want a clothing store. How to start, look at that. How to start a clothing business online, how to start a clothing brand, how to start a clothing brand with no money, how to start a clothing brand step by step, how to start a clothing brand on Shopify. And this is what I mean by long tail. They give you suggestions. They call it auto suggestion, but these are long tail keywords, meaning that how to start a clothing is probably your main ones. And then you have all these other additions to it as well, which kind of really narrow the focus. So how to start a clothing brand with no money, or how to do it on Shopify, right? So say, for instance, we got some aspiring entrepreneurs, and here you go, right? 46,000 views. Here's your guy. He looks right.
You know you need the right tools to make.
So everyone wants to know how to start a successful clothing brand in 2023 or even 2024. The only issue is they don't know how to start.
Yeah, so some of these guys are con men. I'm not going to say he is. I'm definitely not going to say he is. But what I will say is you have to look and siphon through some of these guys. Some of them are going to be more legit than others. But this one has 11 chapters. So you can kind of, he's smart enough to categorize that. And you can get to what you want, build an identity, fulfillment methods. So fulfillment methods is
your stock. So the free methods are the pre-order method. Now this is one of the most popular methods that even some of the biggest brands in the world still use today. And the reason why is because it reduces risk. Now how the pre-order model works is you've got a design in mind. You've got the manufacturer that will create it, but they've not made any of the clothes yet. Now most manufacturers work on a 30 to 50 minimum order quantity. Now let's say, for example, you want a unique.
So he's giving up game. So he sounds pretty legit. But that's as easy as it gets, right? You all you need to do is find something, do a really good search. The main thing about success, and I think just in terms of me achieving my moderate success, is knowing what questions to ask. Right? You don't know what you don't know, and that's the beautiful part. There's beauty in that too. You don't know what you don't know, but once you realize what you know, right, or what you don't know, you know what you need to go learn. Right? I didn't understand research, so I bought books on it. I went and did deep dives. If you go to my Facebook, I follow a bunch of research people, so that's constantly floating on my timeline. Introductions, synopsis, all these abstracts, the way that research flows, right? I wouldn't have known any of that stuff had I not taken it upon myself to go update myself. You're not tight, dog. You need to get right. Okay, well, what do I need to know? This is what I need to know. This is where I need to go. This is what I need to be doing. And like if you utilize these tools, Khan Academy, YouTube, these are all things that are on you that are 100% free. Only thing they're going to cost you is some time and effort. But the execution, whether you take advantage of that or not, is solely up to you. It's 100% up to you. But and again, like a phone update, those are optional. Some of them they force you to do it. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's optional. I don't want to update my stuff. All right. Why? I like the system the way it is. Why are you being productive? Are you being okay? Well, then don't change it. But if you're not happy with the results, you're not happy with your situation, right? You want more out of life. You feel like you want more what's the word I'm looking for? Satisfaction, right? Then we're going to need to have some type of achievement, whatever that is, right? And it could be the smallest thing. I promise you that. So Khan Academy, one, really explore all those math things. YouTube is my go-to for almost everything. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I'm not only a YouTuber, but I do invest in the videos and spend time with them and learn. And I think it's one of the great tools that the universe has provided for us. And if we take advantage of those, man, we can't come up with many more excuses. Oh man, I don't know how. Have you YouTubed it yet? Oh, I don't know. Ah, man, I'm not that good at math. How much time you spend on Khan Academy, yo? What is Khan Academy? Go download it and get started. Period. Do not play around. Don't hesitate. Don't pass go. Collect $100. Start now, not now, but right now. And you'll be thanking me, especially when your kids bring in that homework. When your kids bring in that homework, buddy, believe me, it's going to humble you. So let's get on top of it early. Let's get on top of it now. My last resource that I'm gonna give you, and I always give you guys, I'll give you guys some other ones as well that I see as being useful, was Google Skill Shop. It's Google Skill Shop. And I've talked about it in the past, and I'm a big advocate of it. But I'll pull it up right now and I'll show you everything that you can learn in that. And again, these are all free tools that we can actually use to become better individuals. And I'm just pulling it up right now, you guys. Just bear with me. I'll show you in one of my other screens. Um, there it goes. I'm sorry. So this is what you call Google Skill Shop. And because Google's is such a powerful brand, tool, business as it relates to search, it's a really good look for you to go get certified in some of their tools. So that I'm signing in. I need to update mine. It's been some time. Brother been busy. So let's look at the topics that you can explore. So let me see, make sure you guys can see this. So if you look over to the left or to the right, what's going on, family? I see you tapping in Colorado Springs. Colorado popping right now. It's probably expensive to get around right there. Deanna brought everything. But yeah, so let's start here with Google Ads. We click on that. You have all these things you can learn. So ad certification, AI powered ads, right? Because cable companies right now are running artificial intelligence ads, right? With no body, the voice is fake, everything fake. but it's efficient, right? It's something that we don't have to spend a lot of money on. Production is down to a really low cost for advertisers. Apply your Google Ads knowledge, build on your ads expertise, Google Ads search, discovery, display, ads videos, shopping. You can get nice in all these things, right? If you have an e-commerce platform, why wouldn't you get certified in shopping ads, right? You click on shopping ads, log in. These 3 hours, 3 hours. Said, discover how shopping ads work. Learn the foundation of e-commerce. This is 2 an hour, 1.2, right? Google giving away this stuff, right? So this is easy. So if you have an e-commerce platform, you have anything that you're looking at to put online, you should be all up in this, especially this. Like Google Ads tutorial series. Watch ad experts discover how to set up and optimize your ad campaign. Shopping ads. So this is even so like when you do a Google search. So I'll just show you guys what it looks like. So this 2 minutes, and the way they work is I want to sign in. So the video, I don't know why it's unavailable, but they have a, I don't know what happened, but that video is unavailable. Let's see. Hold on. But basically what they do is they show you a couple videos. Like they'll do a 2-minute video on this. You know, let's see. Set up your merchant account for shopping ads. This is cool. So they'll just put a YouTube up and right, but it's game.
To get started with shopping ads on Google, you want to make sure customers see the most up-to-date information about your products.
See, I
Do
mean,
this by creating a Google Merchant Center account.
and they run you through the steps. Again, this is YouTube, right? But it's still also Google. This is passive stuff. That's what I mean. I learned about empirical and normal distribution and all that stuff with statistics last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock in the morning. But it stuck with me, right? And I understand, and it makes perfect sense. And that's the key right there. We got it. This is easy stuff, right? Let's go back. Let's go back and let's take a look. So that's just shopping, right? What else? What other topics do they have that we Google My Business, right? Because a lot of people don't know how to set that up. Here's how you set it up, right? Here's that. What about YouTube? Here we go on YouTube. Everything related to YouTube. So it's music certification. So if you want to know about that, right? And managing partnerships and stuff, you're interested in working at a agency or starting your own or whatever the case may be. Go here, man. This is 4 hours. You can get certified. Certification. Put it on your resume. Put it on your whatever. But this is stuff they can't take away, and it's free. That's like somebody saying, man, it's a bunch of banks that are giving away free money, man. Only deal is you got to sit there for 4 hours. You're like, damn, that's it. We do it for timeshare, right? We do it for a bunch of nonsense. We watch stuff we've seen already, songs we've heard before, and we can't get this anytime. And we got to do better. And keep in mind, when I'm talking to you, I'm yelling at myself, right? So these are easy things to obtain. These are things that are within your reach, right? So I gave you 3 tools today. 3 tools today that can get you rocking and rolling. You at the most basic level of competence, go to Khan Academy. Start with 2nd grade grammar and 1st grade math. Who cares and who knows? Nobody. You and God. And God put me and that in your life today for a reason. You ain't here by accident, homie. Trust me on that one. But I'm saying, let's move that needle. What don't you know? How can we get you to that information? How can we get you there? What's going to make you feel better? What's going on? CJ, I ain't seen you in a minute. Appreciate it. What's going on, Steven? I ain't seen you in a minute. Appreciate that too, homie. But these are things within our control, right? So let's still explore because they still got so much more, right? So that's YouTube, right? YouTube asset monetization, content ownership. You understand how things are licensed and all that good stuff. And what else we got in here? AdMob, Ways, fundamentals, e-learning. So learning with Ways, right? How to advertise it with on that on a map platform. What else they got? Ad manager. So also ads. Oh, here's the other one. Where is it at? Let me see all activities. I'll just put it up on like that so it looks a little better. So these are all the activities. Verification. I mean, you name it. What do you want? Build your first video campaign, mobile. So if you want mobile, education, Google for education. So say for instance, you're a teacher. They also have analytics. This is one I was looking for. So this is, you want to learn this too. Getting certified in this. Why? So we can monitor our websites. We have to know where the money's coming from, what's being effective, what isn't working, what is working. We need to know that. And it's up to us, right? Up to us to take control of our destiny. We can do that. These are things that are small, right? It'll give you so much satisfaction and fulfillment, right? Drinking, I mean, that's cool. Everybody, that's cool. Everybody do their own vices. But when this ding goes off that you actually finished the math and you, like, it takes you back to elementary school. Sometimes some of us didn't have that satisfaction. We didn't have a good teacher. We felt kind of low and low self-esteem because we didn't get it. Now you can take control of that. Nobody knows but you and God. All right? You feel me? So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all today, man. Take these 3 tools. Khan Academy, YouTube, right? And Google Skillshop. There's other stuff that I'll show you guys. We'll do a part 2 of this. Oh, see, it already went. Once it heard that, it started talking. But that's what I'm saying. So we can learn, we'll learn gradually other steps, but these are things that we can update our profiles with today. You can get certified today in this stuff, right? So if you're trying to improve yourself, let me give you one more. Well, I gave you guys social media examiner in the past, right? I think I've shown you guys that, but I'll show it to you again, right? So social media examiner has all the tools you need for social, right? Say for instance, I'm not nice at anything. I don't know how to post Facebook. I don't know how to do any of that shit. All right. Well, we're gonna get you rocking and rolling. We're gonna tell you where to start. Let me see. We're gonna tell you where to start. We're gonna take care of you. This is the other one of my other tools. Social media marketing world. The podcast is dope, and the episodes are dope. So depending on what you want to learn, say for instance, YouTube. I'm trash at YouTube, right? Here you go. Look at that. How to warm up YouTube ads with Google Discovery. What did we just see Google Discovery ads? Google Skillshop. So they teach you how to work with each other and they give you layouts, right? They talk about it step by step. They give you layouts. They give you pictures. All that you need, right? You guys can see this, right? Oh, no, you can't. Hold on. Let me see. Hold up. That's Skillshop. Where are you? Okay, right here. So they give you play-by-plays and what it's going to look like once you make the transition. Once you start to work on it, here's how to build your audience. Step-by-step plays, homie. Here's what the picture is going to look like. Here's what it's going to look like on YouTube. Here's a sample. They give you play-by-plays, right? Isn't this sexy? So this is stuff that you can get on here. This is, mind you, keep in mind everything. This is the thing. This is the difference why it, like, my shit sounds like a lie, because I'm not charging you $100 to just get exposed to it. Why would I charge you $100? Man, you want my secret to sauce, and it be this kind of shit. You're like, man, I done wasted $1,000. Nobody, ain't no secrets. Ain't no secrets. Ain't no shortcuts. There's none. I don't care what these cats say. I can go a full beard and put this big giant chain on, and I'm the, you want to make $1 million, you got to come listen to me, B. Like, nigga, I don't have shenanigans. That's why it seems like it's not gonna work. All right. Cause there's no cloud of smoke, there's no nothing to it. This is free shit that you can do right now. Pick your poison, get cracking and get drunk with it. Information and success is in abundance, dog. Where you getting yours from, homie? And I'm like I said, I'm not one of the ones who, like I said, I don't have a gimmick. That's why it seems like it's a lie. Everybody, oh man, this stuff, man, listen. The rest of these dudes is doing the same thing. They just packaging it up. They making their background crazy. They looking like they mob figures. They talk like this and slow, so it seems like they saying something really heavy. And they ain't saying shit. And I'm not hating on the next man, but I'm just saying I don't have a gimmick. I'm like Dave Chappelle. I need a gimmick. I need to put some goat shoes or something on because good information a lot of times doesn't spread because people like, man, that you got work all up in there, homie. I'm looking for easy street. I'm looking for shortcuts. I'm looking for routes that don't require anything outside of me just saying, yeah, that ain't gonna work, killer. You gotta sit down and get down and study and let serendipitous things come to you. But the more you studying, the more you practicing, serendipity stays all up in that. So serendipitous things happen to people who are always on the go working towards something, right? It doesn't come find you, you find it, but you don't find it by looking for it, you find it by doing stuff, by constantly improving on yourself. I couldn't have these conversations. This is the practice I get for I talk all week long. Eventually, I'm gonna get really good at it. It's just a matter of time. It's the 10,000 hour rule. You dig? So the book that I'm reading, I'm still listening to. I just, well, actually, what I'm listening to is a podcast. um, the Tim Ferriss one with the dude. I'll tell you exactly who he is. So I would suggest listening to this podcast, and I might be able to put it in the chat. So let me see. I'll put it in the actual the comments. And most people would say, "That's crazy. How you gonna push people away from you, dude?" If it does, if you're gonna be better off, I'd be a hater not to tell you. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people will do that because it doesn't involve me. That's my ego talking. Everything don't have to involve me. Everything does not have to involve me, right? So what I can do is, okay, here's a podcast I think everybody should listen to, at least the first hour. The dude is off the hook. He's a Harvard professor. It is insane, right? The amount of just the way he talks, right? So the dude's name is Arthur C. Brooks. He wrote the book. Let me see. I'll pull him up for us. Right? So Arthur C. Brooks. Let me see. Let me hide this. And I'll show you who he is. And then I'll show you. Let's see. All right, let me see. Arthur C. Brooks. He has a few books on happiness. He studies happiness, right? So off the bat, the dude is dope because he studies happiness, right? But he talked about he was the guy who talked about reverse um bucket list, right? Not putting pressure on yourself because he accomplished some stuff by the time he was 40. And he was like, man, it didn't do anything for me, right? I felt worse. So this the dude. He's on the podcast. Let me see. I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the Tim Ferriss podcast too. So he's on Tim Ferriss, but these are the books. Who Really Cares? Building the Life You Want, Love Your Enemies. He's a conservative, obviously, or whatever, but I don't pay no attention to that. So Love Your Enemies. He's Build the Life You Want, whatever. Who Really Cares? That's kind of his deal. But I'll put the podcast because that's the main thing. Tim Ferriss. So I'll put the link in there. I'll actually put the YouTube in there, the YouTube, so you guys can watch that.
To everyone that has a story to share, meet the
I'm
new
always
Riverside.
my main thing is just giving out game, dog. Wherever I can do, whatever I can do, there y'all go. You feel me? So I'm gonna leave it at there, man. I don't have anything left, man. I'm gonna leave that right there for you guys to check out. Tap in with that and on your own time, man. It's a really good episode where we convene next week, hopefully at the same time. Not this time. We'll be back a little bit later. But I appreciate you guys for tapping in on a non-normal time and talking about the 3 things that will actually, I know that they're going to catapult you. I already know that, right? If you take them seriously and you do them, you can control your destiny, man. Whatever it is you want, man. L set, let's go get it. All right, tapping out.